Hare Krishna. Welcome to my Radha Madhav channel. This is Sindhu here. Welcome to today's Krishna Katha. Right? Today we are going to see a beautiful story from Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? We are going to see the holy name story of Ajamil. Very interesting story, very inspirational story. Let's start with a small prayer. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nahamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschadya Desha Hare Krishna. As we have already seen, there are innumerable, unlimited benefits of hearing to Krishna Katha, right? And attain pure love for Krishna. To name few, you can be free from sins, we can be free from any types of fears, we can be free from diseases, we can attain fame, victory, liberation, right? Can go on and on about it, right? We have already seen how beneficial it is to listening to Krishna Katha daily with focus and concentration, right? With faith and devotion. Okay, let's move on to the story. I humbly request you, thanks to Prabhupada for giving us such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. And I humbly request you to please pass this on to all your loved ones so that they also get benefited. Right? Okay. Let's start with the story. Once there was a young Brahmana, right? His name was Ajamil, right? It's actually pronounced as Ajamil. Okay, Ajamil. He was a reservoir of good character and conduct. He was mild and gentle, was always truthful, well versed in Vedic scriptures, and very, very, very pure soul. One day, on the request of his father, Ajamil went to the forest to collect some fruits, flowers, and grasses. On the way home, he came upon a very lusty low-class man embracing and kissing a prostitute. Both of them were drunk, and the man was smiling, singing, and enjoying himself without shame. The prostitute's eyes were rolling in intoxication, and her dress had become very loose. When Ajamil saw her, the lusty desires in his heart awakened, and in illusion he fell under their control. Remembering the instructions of the scriptures, Ajamil tried not to gaze at the women. He strained to control his lusty desires with the help of his knowledge and intellect, but he failed. As a result, he lost all his good sense. In the days that followed, he always thought about the prostitute, and within a short time, he took her as a servant in his house and abandoned all the Brahmanical principles. Ajamil began spending the money he had inherited from his father on various gifts to satisfy that prostitute. He even abandoned his beautiful young wife, who came from a very respectable family. Thus, Ajamil spent his long life irresponsibly breaking all the rules and regulations of the holy scriptures. He was unclean and addicted to forbidden activities. Living extravagantly, he maintained his family always by harassing others, cheating, gambling, and theft. Over the 80 years of Ajamil's life, he fathered 10 sons by the prostitute. Right? Ajamil's youngest son, a baby named Narayana, he was naturally very dear to both his father and mother. The child's broken language and awkward movements greatly endeared him to the old Ajamil, who always took care of him and enjoyed his activities. See, anywhere in this story, they have never mentioned Ajamil as a bad man. Because of his lusty desires and because of his, lustful, passion, mode of passion and ignorance, He had somehow inherited all these characters without his knowledge, right? He was tempted by that prostitute, right? So let's see how he changes and what a big transformation happens in his life, so that he goes back to Godhead, to the spiritual world where every word is a song and every step is a dance. Hari Bol. Right? So, what happened? So, Narayana, pronounced as Narayan, is the name of God, and thus unintentionally the old man was always chanting the name of the Lord because he was very, very, very dear to his son. He was referring to his son only and not the original Narayana. Still, even then, he was becoming purified because the holy name of Narayana is very, very powerful. Always taking care of his son and calling his name, Ajamil was not aware that his own life was now exhausted. As the time of death approached for the foolish Ajamil, he began thinking exclusively of his son Narayan. Right? So at the moment of his death, Ajamil saw three awkward persons with deformed bodily features, fierce and twisted faces, and hair standing erect on their bodies. They were the Yamadutas. You can see in the picture very well, Vishnudutas and Yamadutas, and Ajamil lying on the bed. Right? They were the Yamadutas, the servants of Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, and they had come to take Ajamil away to their master's abode. When Ajamil saw them, he became extremely bewildered and shocked, and because of his attachment to his child, who was playing a short distance away, he loudly and tearfully called the child's name, Narayana, Narayana. Immediately the Vishnudutas, the servants of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Narayan, arrived on the spot. They had heard the holy name of their master from the mouth of the dying Ajamil, who had chanted without offense because he had chanted in a complete anxiety. Right? As the Vishnudutas arrived, the Yamadutas were snatching the soul from the body of the dying Ajamil. While resounding voices, the messengers of Lord Vishnu ordered them to stop and thus saved Ajamil from death. Although the servants of Yamaraj have jurisdiction over all the sinful living beings, the messengers of Vishnu are capable of punishing even Yamaraj himself if he wrongs the devotee of Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. Right? When the Yamadutas were thus forbidden from carrying out their mission, they exclaimed, "Who are you, sir, that you dare challenge the jurisdiction of Yamaraja? Whose servants are you? Where have you come from, and why are you forbidding us to touch Ajamil? You may note that this man Ajamil is, did not undergo atonement for his sins. He has been sinful throughout his life. Because of his sinful life, we must take him to the court of Yamaraj for punishment. According to the extent of his sinful acts, he will be punished and thus purified." And the Vishnudutas replied, "Ajamil has already atoned not only for his sins performed in one life, but those performed in millions and millions of lives. For in a helpless condition, in that situation, he chanted the holy name of Narayana. Although he was calling his son's name, he nevertheless uttered the 4 syllables Narayana. Simply by chanting the name of Narayana in this way, he sufficiently atoned for the sinful reactions of millions of lives." Hari Bol. Right? So chanting the holy name of the Lord is the best process for atonement for a thief, for a drunkard, for the one who betrays a friend or relatives, for the one who kills a Brahmana, for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior, for one who murders the women, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cows, and for other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, such sinful persons can attract his attention. What is the power, right, my dear friends and devotees? At the time of death, what happens then? We'll see. Ajamil helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all his sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamaraj, do not try to take him to your master for punishment. One who chants the holy name is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else jokingly for musical entertainment or even neglectfully. This is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures. If one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accidental misfortune, one is immediately absolved from having to enter the hellish life even though he is sinful. Such is the magic of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one heart. However, if one serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from such contaminations. If a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes that medicine, it will act even without his knowledge, because the medicine's potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Prabhupada has cited a very good analogy here. What he says, if a patient takes the medicine, though he doesn't know what are the contents of the medicine or the ingredients of the medicine, but still what the doctor has said he has taken, right? So it has value, right? He's fine. Similarly, even though we do not know the value of chanting of the holy name of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be very, very, very effective. The Vishnudutas released the Brahmana Ajamil from the bondage of the Yamadutas and thus saved him from death. Hari Bol. Ajamil, now free from fear, came to his senses and immediately offered respects to the Vishnudutas by bowing his head at their feet. He was extremely pleased by their presence, for they had saved him from the Yamadutas. When the Vishnudutas saw that Ajamil was attempting to say something, they suddenly disappeared. Right? Vishnudutas disappeared for the time being. Let's see. Having heard the discourse between the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas, Ajamil could now understand the transcendental religious principles concerning the relationship between the living being and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now he realizes everything, right? And since Ajamil had heard the glorification of the Lord, he was now a perfectly pure devotee and thus could remember all his past sinful activities, which he greatly regretted having performed all those. Right? And he feels within his heart, I am such a sinful person. But now since I have this opportunity, I must completely control my mind, my life and senses, and always engage in devotional service so that I may not again fall into the deep darkness and ignorance of this material life. Because I identified myself with my body, I was subjected to more desires for sense gratification and thus performed many pious and impious acts. That was my material bondage. But now I shall disentangle myself from that bondage. Being a most fallen soul, I was victimized by illusions and I was like a dancing dog led around by a woman's hand. Now I shall give up these lusty desires and free myself from these illusions. Right? How practical this is for all of us as human beings, right? We are also, no less than Ajamil, right? So I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all the living entities and always observe myself in Krishna consciousness, says Ajamil. Because of the moment's association with devotees of the Supreme Lord, Ajamil was able to detach himself with determination from the material conception of life. Freed from all the material attraction, he immediately started for the city of Haridwar on the Ganges river. In Haridwar, Ajamil stayed at the Vishnu temple, where he executed Bhakti Yoga, the process of devotional service, the best process, the easiest process of this Kali Yuga. He controlled his senses and fully applied his mind in the service of the Lord. Right? When his intelligence and mind were fixed on the form of the, on the form of the Lord, Ajamil once again saw before him the 4 celestial messengers of Vishnu. Recognizing them as the ones he had seen previously, he offered his respects with bowing down before them. The Vishnudutas had gone away for some time to allow Ajamil to become firmly fixed in meditation on the Lord. Right? Now that his devotion had matured, they returned to take him back to the spiritual world. Upon seeing the Vishnudutas, Ajamil gave up his material body and regained his original spiritual body, Hari Bol, which was just suitable for an associate of the Lord. This is the result of perfection in Krishna consciousness, my friends and devotees. After giving up the material body, one is immediately transferred to the spiritual world in one's original spiritual body to become an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Accompanied by the Vishnudutas, Ajamil then boarded a golden airplane that took him through the airways directly to the abode of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Although he had been destined to be carried away to the hell by the Yamadutas, Ajamil was saved. By whom? By the Vishnudutas, and was able to go back to home, back to Godhead. Why? Because he chanted the holy name of the Lord at the time of his death. Therefore, if the person faithfully and inoffensively chants the holy name of the Lord, there is no doubt that he will not go to his original real home, Golok, Vrindavan. Right? So at the time of death, one is certainly bewildered because his bodily functions are in disorder. At that time, even one who throughout his life has practiced chanting the holy name of the Lord may not be able to chant the Hare Krishna mantra very distinctly. Right? So, what do we understand from here? We shouldn't wait until we get old, right? Like Ajamil. Whenever our body is fit now, we should start chanting the holy names of the Lord loudly and distinctly, right? If one does so, it's quite possible that even at the time of the death, he will be able to properly chant the holy name of the Lord with love and faith and return home back to Godhead without a doubt, right? Where every word is a song and every step is a dance. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I enjoyed the story. Hope you also enjoyed. See you all with another beautiful motivational video. Until then, Manchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.